"You're embarrassing me in front of my boss," my wife hissed, fingers digging into my arm. She pushed me aside. Her other hand stayed where it was, on his shoulder. A casual intimacy, too practiced. Laughter floated behind us. Wine glasses, pine air, corporate retreat chic. I nodded like a chastened husband and stepped away, the gravel crunching under my shoes sounding louder than it should have. I walked toward my car. My phone vibrated. I didn't check it. I felt the night close in. Cold, orderly, safe. Behind me, footsteps hurried, uneven, a man unused to chasing. "Sir." I turned. Her boss stood under the parking lights, face drained of color. Older than me, softer. His confidence had stayed inside with the fireplace. "I recognized you," he said, "from the board meeting last quarter." A pause, a swallow. "Does she know who you—" I held his gaze, let the silence finish his sentence. The truth hovered between us, sharp and clean. "No," I said, and opened my car door. I drove without music. Headlights stitched the road together. I replayed the way her hand rested on him, not flirtatious, possessive, like muscle memory. I thought about the last year, the late flights, the sudden interest in yoga, the way she'd stopped asking about my day. I'd assumed comfort, marriage aging into quiet. I remembered the first time she mentioned his name, too often, always followed by a smile that didn't reach her eyes. At home, I poured a drink I didn't touch. I checked her phone while she slept. I'd never done that. The passcode was still our anniversary. Careless. Messages deleted. Recently. Calendar events renamed. Client dinner. Offsite. I felt something settle inside me. Not anger. Alignment. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was administrative. Efficient. A double life filed neatly between meetings. I watched her sleep. The rise and fall. The woman I'd built a narrative around. I wondered when she decided I was background noise. I wondered how long he'd known who I was. I didn't change my behavior. That was the trick. I kissed her goodbye, asked about her day, smiled at the right intervals. Inside, I cataloged. Phone records through our shared plan. A pattern emerged. Same number. Always after 10 p.m. I pulled expense reports from the company. My company. His company too. He just didn't know how much. Hotel charges during conferences that never existed. I requested security footage under the guise of an audit. Saw them in reflections. Elevators. Lobbies. The way he leaned in. The way she didn't pull away. At night, my thoughts were loud. I'd given her everything. Privacy. Respect. Space. She'd used all three as cover. I ran a background check on him. Nothing scandalous. A man who'd climbed carefully, never looking down. I imagined the moment the ground would disappear. Still, I waited. I needed certainty. Not for revenge. For clarity. The DNA kit arrived on a Tuesday. Discreet packaging. A swab while she slept. Her mouth open. Trusting. I sat in my study afterward, hands steady, and realized I felt calm. Whatever came back, I would be free of doubt. The email arrived during a board call. Probability 0.00. I ended the call. My wife slid down the wall, sobbing. I stepped around her, picked up my coat. She reached for me. I didn't feel it. I moved out that afternoon. The house felt smaller without my expectations in it. I didn't block her number. I just stopped reacting. Power isn't volume. It's absence. Weeks later, I saw a headline about him. Personal misconduct. Career over. I felt nothing. At night, the storm inside me had quieted. Not peace. Precision. I hadn't won her back. I hadn't needed to. I'd reclaimed myself. Some losses are surgical. You bleed less when the cut is clean. I drove past the retreat lodge once, months later. Same lights. Same laughter. I didn't slow down. I was already gone.